Now it's time for another Board Game Brawl preview with Nick Meanahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com. Hey folks, my name is Nick, this is Board Game Brawl, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called Last Front, the strategy card game, and it is from Plow Games. Now, if you like what you see throughout the rest of this preview video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. You can follow the link up in the top corner of your screen, as well as down in the description section underneath this video. Those links will take you to the official Kickstarter project page. You can find out even more information than I could possibly tell you here, and hopefully you'll consider backing the project. Now, what is Last Front? This is a competitive card game that's interesting because it mixes trick-taking elements together with combat mechanisms. And basically the theme of the game is that it is the middle of World War II, or perhaps the last couple of years of World War II, and you are trying to conquer as much territory as possible with your units, and also with the special sort of heroic icons that the various sides of the war had control of during the course of the war, and making use of events at the appropriate time, so on and so forth. If you can conquer the most right types of territory, of course it's a little more detailed than that, then you are going to be the winner of the game. Let me go ahead and show you all of the different stuff that comes in this game with a prototype version of it. So of course, whatever you see here may change in the final version. Just keep that in mind. Go to the Kickstarter page and find out for sure. But in any case, let's go ahead and take a look, and then we're going to come back and give you my final thoughts. Front is a competitive card game for 2 to 6 players. It uses trick-taking mechanisms together with card-driven combat elements. The goal is to put forth a bid that surpasses the other player's bids to conquer a revealed territory, or steal one that's already been taken by a player. To win, you must be the first to either conquer 2 of the same territory types or 3 different ones. There are 4 major categories of cards in the game: territories, territory bonuses, units, and events, but there are several subsets of cards as well. Territories and events have their own decks. Units are in the battle deck, together with special, icon, and draw event cards. Territory cards are what you're trying to capture in order to win the game. There are 6 different cards: the United States, Great Britain, Germany, France, Italy, and the USSR, with 3 copies of each. There are also 6 territory bonus cards which stay on the table throughout the game. When a player has a clear majority of a corresponding territory, they can claim the appropriate bonus card. These give you special abilities, like increasing the value of your units. Unit cards are the rank and file of the game, and what you'll primarily use to win territories. Troops, tanks, and planes are worth their face value of between 1 and 4. Support unit cards are a little different. When attacking either the revealed territory or another player's captured territory, you use the lowest number of the card. If you're defending your own territory from other players' attacks, however, you use the higher number. Several cards can be played on your turn to either activate their special effect, like swapping cards with your opponent or canceling their bonuses, or you can play it for its face value and ignore its effect. Icons are very similar to specials. Their ability usually grants unit bonuses. Like special, you can ignore their text and just use them for their face value. Also in the battle deck are draw event cards. You play these on your turn to draw a single event card and instantaneously apply its effect, which cannot be blocked. These effects can be anything from forcing all players to suffer unit penalties, to killing cards from players' areas, or to letting everyone draw cards. To set up, simply shuffle the 3 main decks, battle, territory, and event cards, and place them on the table. Place the 6 territory bonus cards out on the table, and deal 6 cards to everyone from the battle deck to constitute their starting hand. In the first round of the game, flip over the top card of the territory deck. Players now vie to have the most battle power and capture it. If you are the first player, you must draw a card from the battle deck. Then you play as many cards as you want from your hand, including units, specials, icons, and draw event cards. Add up the values of the cards plus any bonuses that you're getting. This is your total bid. Once everything is resolved, play goes to the next player, who also draws a card, and then must decide to either outbid or withdraw. To outbid, you must play cards until you at least outbid the previous player. Then play goes on to the next player, who has the same options. If you withdraw, however, you lose all cards that you've already bid, draw a card from the battle deck, and then you're out of the remainder of the battle. You can't win this territory, but you also can't be affected by any other player or event effects. On a player's turn, they may choose to dig in with cards. You choose a number of cards that add up to at least 10, even if they only get to that number via temporary bonuses, and turn them sideways together on the field. These cards now count as a 10 value, regardless of their actual value total later on. This means that you might overpay to dig in. Even if the card's face value adds up to more than 10, they are now 10 as a whole. It also means, however, that even if you lose control of special or icon cards, giving you the bonuses that let you dig in with those cards, they still retain a value of 10, and you cannot lose these cards or their bonuses regardless of enemy attacks and special abilities. However, they still go in the discards at the end of a battle or if you withdraw. When only one player remains who hasn't withdrawn and therefore has the highest bid, they take the territory card and draw another battle card. All cards that were played, including dug-in cards and specials, are discarded. A new territory card is drawn from the deck. The winning player now declares the next attack. From the second round on, this may be a territory from another player instead. Gameplay continues on and on like this until one player either conquers 2 of the same territory or 3 unique ones. They are then declared the winner of Last Front. Now, let's get to my final thoughts. Now, whenever I do a preview for a Kickstarter game, I always want to talk about what's interesting and unique about the game that might entice people to want to check it out. And I think that this Last Front really shows you what that is right up front. See what I did there? Because it's this idea that you have a historical war game, and there really is a lot of history in this game. When you look at the artwork and the photographs that are on a lot of the cards, and just the general graphic design. Some of the cards use like old war propaganda posters and things like that. You definitely kind of feel steeped in this this historic aspect of the game. But at the same time, what you're doing is you are fighting over territory. It's almost like taking one very specific aspect of larger, more grandiose war games where you're fighting over these different territories, again, historical, again, matching the graphic design of the rest of the game. But you're doing it primarily through a more complex trick-taking mechanism where you are bidding for these different cards, and you're doing it, and it's almost like not quite poker in a way, but it's almost like you're anteing too, because it's like, okay, well, here's my bid. Are you going to beat that, or are you out? Do you fold? And you have to make that decision, and you have to plan ahead, because you may throw everything you have to conquer this one territory card, but then how many rounds are you going to be playing catch-up, trying to get back to a point where you can conquer another territory, whereas other players who have more carefully conserved their cards and perhaps didn't win one time, but maybe they set up so that next time they could win a little more easily. It's all about the strategy. It's all about planning, like, how much can you get away with bidding in order to win a card? How much is too much? When should you make effective use of your special cards, your icon cards? When is it better to let the special ability of one of those cards go in order to get its face value? Is that more important to you? How about digging in for a round, which means you're basically setting aside cards to make sure you will have a flat 10 points or 10 value to add to your battle, but you might have to overpay to make that happen. You don't even know if it's going to be worth it for you. You're basically committing even more cards at that point to make sure that you win, but you do want to protect them because of the events and specials that other players can use. Not to mention the fact that you have the draw events card, which can really throw a monkey wrench into the whole game. It's something you may not even want to do unless you're really desperate, because it could have a drastic effect on the entire course of the game, and no one can do anything to protect themselves from it. But it might be beneficial to everyone as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, despite the fact that it is a relatively small card game. It has sort of the feel of a larger game, despite the fact that it is essentially a trick-taking game. But again, with the historical context to it, with the combative element to it, that really makes it feel like a battle. It is beyond just a simple, bidding game. So if you like any of these different aspects, if you like card games, if you like bidding games, if you like games that have historical war artwork and theme to them, you definitely want to check out Last Front. It's very interesting. So go to the official Kickstarter project page. There's going to be a link in the top corner of your screen, as well as down in the description section of the video. You can find out even more information than I could possibly tell you here. You don't have to take my word for it, and hopefully you'll consider backing the project. That is Last Front from Plow Games. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.